time.
Technical glitches. Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? What's going on, everybody out there in the XRV OTC world? SoFlo Digital, LFG, rocketing to the moon. That's what's going on. XRP, Chip, the future of blockchain and innovation. That's what it's all about.
Oh,
We're going to dive into that. We got a lot of cool things we want to talk about, and we are going to simplify the AMM clawback. That's what we're going to do today. We made
we're
it
going to
real
talk about it.
simple. We're going to dissect it, Chip, because
We're going to workshop it. Let's go, guys. Now that we have the technical issues out of the way, let's go. You sound a little hoarse today, Jeff.
I'm a little bit.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome, everybody, to On the Chain. Here we are, another day, 2 days away from the adults getting
Yes.
back into the White House, to
Thank God.
things being calmly restored to some normalcy. 2 more days till Trump back in the White House. I already started with the Yeti. Thank you for getting the Yeti started. That's a good idea that I should probably have it ready to go. But drop where you're coming in from today. Where are you guys coming in from? Where are you coming in from? We know the UK is in the house. We know Australia is in the house. Where else? Where else?
This is what I'm talking about. PB29 coming in from Slovakia has been following the channel since 2020. Chip, that's how long it's been. 2020. He's been in XRP since 2018. Never sold a coin. Let's effing go.
That's what you
XRP.
call
wait, he didn't say
diamond hands, baby. Yeah, that's our that's our correspondent on the ground in Slovakia right there. That is right there, giving us the pulse, what's going on, everything, all geopolitics related there. So we have to know. And Trump we trust. Hey, yes, King. Yeah, well, don't worry. The UK is next. Two-tier Kier is gone. He's going to be out pretty soon. We got a great Kier video today. It's a funny video. It's a good one. It's so funny that it seems so believable. NYC
I was in Manchester.
By the way, Manchester's where all the good music comes from. Let's just face it, man. All the greatest bands ever came from Manchester. Just saying.
Dude, Manchester was pretty cool. It's interesting.
I would have liked to have been there during the Hacienda days, during the New Order days, and the Verve is close by there as well. But there's so many great UK bands, man. But still,
Daytona Beach. That's what I'm talking about right there.
What Vero?
And February is not too far away, and we got the Daytona 500 coming up, which is gonna be exciting.
Sunny in 87.
87 here in Hamtramck.
It's probably a balmy 27 in Hamtramck, dude.
Hamtramck isn't Polish anymore.
I first went to Michigan. I couldn't when I first went there, I couldn't pronounce half the places. But there's some little idiosyncrasies there.
The best exit on I-75 is still Big Beaver, exit 69.
Yeah, I got a second job, just the FOMO into second last minute products. Well, there you go, man. That's what you call the hustle. Justin's got the hustle. He ain't playing. It's beautiful. I love that.
What is this?
Where's Belgium's in the house? There you go. Love seeing all those Yetis too. Karma Carmichael, of course. Here. What's up?
Keeps moving while I try to click. What is Onaga?
I don't know where Onaga is. Onaga's
it's in Kansas. No, in Kansas. No. That's where he's at. It's in Kansas.
Kansas.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Jim D. We're not in Kansas anymore. There you go. Onaga. Okay, probably saying that wrong too.
There we go. Right now. Off Rosie Mountain, Big Beaver.
Yeah, exit 69.
69. Someone must have had a pretty good humor.
I was like, whoever did that? That was the first time because I used to live. Actually, I used to live off of Big Beaver for a little bit. I lived in Troy for a little bit, and off of 16 Mile there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like I love Michigan, all the miles. I was like, okay, so you're on 17 Mile and I'm on 14 Mile. I kind of get it, right? The way the roads were designed, the roads, and the way they all kind of parallel off. Where Florida is very simple, Jeff.
It's so easy. Florida's easy
run north, and they run east and west. That's it, north and south, east and west.
There's very little curvage.
The turnpike.
Yeah.
It's pretty count-onable. It's like pretty easy to get around. Exactly.
Well, you can visualize it in your head. You're like, okay, kind of where am I at? There's I-75, there's I-95, there's the turnpike, There's
Yeah,
US
it's not like when you go to
frontage.
Massachusetts and they just basically paved over horse trails. "Oh, let's just make this a road. Let's not use any city planning at all. Let's just horses used to go through here. Buggies used to go through. Let's just make this a road." No, they didn't think put much effort into it. So the roads are all squirrely and rounded, and it's a little bit strange there. Jeff, we got some
I'm getting a
interesting news.
tan. I don't know what's happening to my coloring. It's so bizarre.
But you know what's so funny, Jeff,
Kind of
is
dark
like
with this, the
you know,
lighting.
for work, I show up red like that, and I'm like, honestly, I'm not red. I don't know what's going on with my but here I show up fine. So I don't know what the
Yeah.
deal is.
Then all of a
Like
sudden,
when I'm doing my Zooms calls all during the day, sometimes I turn up red. I'm like, I'm not red. Like now I'm looking a little
that's
bit
funny.
white. Like I have zero color in my face. Now I'm looking a little too white, but that's because I got these two giant screens glowing on me there.
Right.
I'm really not
I
this
was
white. You have a little
I was
color in my
doing a Zoom call, yeah, the other day, and I looked up and I was kind of leaning over, but I was trying to look at something while I was doing it. I was like way down in the corner of the thing and kind of close to the screen. I'm like, that's pretty awkward.
I always love it too. It's like is there no self like consciousness going on where people like sometimes people are like this and like
Yep,
their head. I'm like,
all the time.
do you not are you not looking at the screen and notice that you're not barely on camera or they're so freaking far away? I'm like,
Right?
where's your
That
camera?
too.
Oh
Oh,
God, here we
that's a
go.
good one. What'd you
I'm
do,
like,
balloons?
where's your camera? So nobody knows. Anyway, we got a lot. Let's get started. Enough of that chit chat.
Woodward Ave in Detroit
Yeah.
was the first mile of concrete highway in the US, paved in 1909.
Yeah,
It's
Woodward.
amazing. Down
Yeah, there's
Woodward's.
still some great houses down there.
Yep, it's crazy when you go down into Detroit and you go down to Millionaire Row, and you know a lot of it's been rehabbed and brought back,
Oh
but for
yeah.
years you go down there and you look at these beautiful mansions that were just gutted, and just some were half burnt down, but absolutely gutted, and they just sat there vacant for all those years, and then all of a sudden you drive down the street, you say like shell, 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 like just burned, and all of a sudden there'd be a house with beautiful, like pristine grass
Gorgeous,
and just
yeah.
really nice. And then you go through a few others that were like that too.
An old work colleague of mine had one of those
Crazy.
houses where he it didn't look like that when he bought it, but he refurbed it, and man, he brought it back and it was just gorgeous and, you know,
Well, when you go
beautiful.
down into like Palmer Woods is like, 6 mile ish, and
Yeah, yeah.
Woodward, and those homes in there are really beautiful. I mean,
Yeah,
just unbelievable with carriage houses and just really, really impressive.
so
That's
let's
right.
get
Six
busy. Let's
mile in
get
Woodward, not too
busy.
far from 8 Mile. We're talking Detroit.
Detroit, baby. I worked at the tech center, Jeff. I worked at the GM Tech Center for 4 years, and then I moved back to Florida. It was too cold up there. Too
Right.
cold, and then, like, it was really disheartening to learn that, like, Michigan's, like, the 3rd cloudiest state in the union. Like, I think Washington, you know, up in the Seattle area is, like, the 1st. I was like, "No, man. I don't like that cloudy stuff."
Yeah, I-70 in Kansas was the first interstate ever paved. This
Well,
is
there you
history right here, guys.
see,
We're
guys, you're
learning
learning.
history,
You're gonna learn stuff
road
you didn't know
history.
you wanted to learn, but you're gonna learn it. Check it out. So there'll be a
You
quiz
come
at
to
the end of this so you can answer it. No, we'll do a
right, where
quiz.
was the first
Whoever answers the quiz
interstate?
right could be entered into the Yeti competition. No, we're not gonna do that. So first concrete paved is where? First interstate
Right,
is where?
that's
So
right,
we'll
gotta
bring that
know.
to you guys.
Look at
Originally
that.
from Flint. Yeah, there
Oh,
you go.
Flint. Look at
Flint,
that.
Michigan. There you go.
What have
The
the
Roman
Romans
road.
ever done for us? Oh,
There
that's
were
right.
Roman roads too. We're talking about the US though. We're not talking about first paved in the United States. We're not going
We're
other
not going back in time, even though the
we're not going
Romans
back
did
in time.
some pretty amazing things. I was just talking to
Absolutely.
Aaron about that on the way when I was dropping him off at school. The technology that they used to have, the Greek with the acid battery and the Romans, some of the things that they had done is impressive with sewage, underground sewage and flowing water because of the
Aqueducts.
aqueducts.
Sure, it's phenomenal
Man,
stuff. And then, just like any society, they imploded.
they imploded and
Big
we
master
lost the technology and we forgot about it.
Not only that, but there's free power too. Like all these cities had these beacons, they had these things that looked like fireplaces, but they weren't. They were conductors. There's a whole thing that's lost. There's the mud flood. I don't want to get on some conspiracies, but I spent a lot of time down that rabbit hole. But I want to talk about Brad Garlinghouse here. So his first
Probably
time,
a
and
good
certainly
start.
not his last. And this annoys me when people do this. I want to teach everybody. I want to do a master class on how to post effectively. No, no one knows what CFCT Moritz is. Okay, just put what it is, and then in parentheses, put the actual thing. because most people have the stupid like things like JK Fruit and Richard just post the name
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
put in parentheses because now you're offering. But when people do this and add all these goofy emojis and stuff,
Mhm.
it's just not
Just
good.
have no idea. No
CFC
idea who they are.
Maritz, and that's a highly curated digital assets and blockchain conference for investors set in the breathtaking Swiss Alps. Breathtaking. So he was there. He was joined by Richard Tang. He's the Binance CEO, formerly Binance head of regional markets, former CEO of Financial Services Regulatory Authority and ADGM. There you go. And he was also there on stage with Joel Colley, which is the crypto and fintech reporter at Wired. And there you have it.
Mhm.
So he says he was on stage to discuss a path to 1 billion crypto users, with the largest capital markets finally embracing crypto and talk of crypto strategy reserves. And I suspect rather imminent US regulatory clarity, a step function change and adoption is closer than you think. Okay, Mr. MAGA, Brad Garlinghouse. And there he is on stage right there. This was called Enabling the Next Decade of Access and Growth, looking towards 1 billion users. And there is the reporter. And there is the gentleman who's the CEO of Binance. So there he was talking at the I bet that was a fun conference, right? Being in the mountains, probably a fantastic time. And also have a video that they posted, which is interesting, with Brad Garlinghouse and a bunch of cool people that were chatting. 7 entries into Yeti, guys. Type Yeti, please. Go ahead and type Yeti.
That's it. Just 7. Plus, I just want to announce we had a big winner over on the Discord also. So we run a giveaway on Discord a couple of days. People enter, and then you get to win a badass Yeti over there as well. So we had a big winner, which was McDreamy. I went back and so that was actually the second time that McDreamy got to win over on the Discord, which is pretty cool. I don't know if McDreamy's here, but when we do the giveaway for the other one, we're also going to give McDreamy his cool badass Yeti, which is pretty sweet. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All
Now we
those
got
Yetis.
we got the Yetis
We got
happening
Yetis
now.
popping up. Look at this one. So that looks like a Yeti with
That's
red
the
eyes.
Yeti. It's the coffee Yeti.
Yeah, look at that. It's a coffee Yeti. Look at those.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Man, he's awake, ready to go. That's pretty sweet. Got to love it.
Well, let's listen to this. Is Brad Garlinghouse and another bunch of others. Let me see who else is on this. Let me tell you who else is on this video, because I do have the list. Of course, they did it again with the tags. God, I can't just put the damn names. My God, people. You're not children. You got to grow up. You got to figure it out. So I got to hover over it to see who it is. John Wood, CTO of Algo. They had also here is Lily Liu, and she is she's an on-chain economist. Obviously, Richard Tang, which Garlinghouse spoke with, who's the Binance CEO. And then we had and Lily Liu is from the Solana Foundation. Then you have Simone Amani, and she's from that's a gal, but from Elliptic. And then you have Chris Giancarlo, former CFTC chair. So that's who we're going to see in this video. Let's watch.
The change of administration in the United States is going to dominate a lot of the conversation about crypto and how that, from a regulatory perspective, starts to signal a shift.
People are waiting eagerly to see whether US Bitcoin reserve will be set up.
I think that speaks to not just positive, but perhaps an embrace of this technology as being the future of finance.
I think a lot of folks would look at it and say, well, it's a little bit of a risk, 6 months ago, it was riskier to build in Web3 or in crypto because you did have that uncertainty.
As an industry, we've got to come together. We can't all have different views on what good regulation looks like. Otherwise, we will slow down the process. We've got to speak with one voice very clearly about what we're looking for and work with the new administration towards that.
Some of the conversations that we're having here at CFC, I think, will result in the industry better organizing itself to speak with one voice in favor of good crypto policy in the years to come.
What do you think about that, Jeff?
Look, good crypto policy. I think that's really important. And as we start focusing on growth in the future, that becomes even more relevant, more important, so can't just look at bad policy, we got to learn from what's been going on in the past, and let's move forward. It's time to move on. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I like the way that sounds. So you know that Gary Gensler had his last day. Before we get to that, I wanted to do this. I wanted to show this video that Ripple posted about Garen Labs. And Garen Labs is very impressive too. They're also, I think they're one of the organizations that were funded last year in 2024 by Ripple. But I wanted to put this up. But I'm going to have to do the translations on the screen so people that are listening to the podcast, not viewing it, can't see the words on screen. So I'm going to turn the video down. I'm going to turn the video down a little bit, just so that I can say the words and I'll interpret this, but this is the CEO of Garen Labs. So he says, let's see, Garen Labs, the company that builds cyber currency wallets, DeFi services on XRP. Garen Labs is based on two ideas. First, I thought that in order to build on the XRP ledger and its associated ecosystem, we needed an infrastructure where users could comfortably access the on-chain activities with XRP. And second, compared to other blockchain systems, XRP Ledger was something the lacking. Wait a minute, this is going too fast, Jeff. Holy cow, this guy's talking quick. Oh my God. Let me back it up a little bit. It could make happen through DeFi. I thought about if possible. During my research, I realized the XRP Ledger was preparing for a retail ecosystem, and I became confident that if the systems and the infrastructure of XRP Ledger are placed together, it would be quite successful. Our goal is to make the wallet and the process of moving to a sidechain seamlessly. Beautiful. So that Garen wallet's going to be something probably I would see some adoption in the ecosystem. But again, DeFi is another big part of probably something that wasn't imagined out of the gate, I would say, when XRP came along in Ripple. But Jeff, it's a very positive development there.
That's right. It's really cool.
Gary Gensler's last day. So I want to give credit to the gentleman who made this, the group. And if I can find it, let me see, because I want to make sure we give credit, because sometimes we'll download the video and I want to make sure we give credit where credit's due. And is it X? And you know what, Jeff? And of course I can't find it. Of course not. Of course it's not possible. Whatever, I cannot find it. I will try to give some credit later, but I want to do this. Made an awesome Gary parody video. Yesterday was Gary Gensler's last official day, and I saw a video of the Treasury Secretary walking down the steps with a whole crowd of Democrats applauding. Applauding what is what I want to know exactly. What exactly were you applauding? But let's go here.
Were they excited?
What were they excited for? You like destroying the ripping down the nation over the last 4 years? Sure. Okay.
I have a theory on that. Yeah, turn the volume down. You're gonna get.
Is it too high?
Yeah. Well, plus that music is gonna take us out.
No. Oh yeah. Well, what song is it?
I don't know. It sounds like I could be wrong. Was it Social Distortion?
Yeah, but it's a parody video, so the lyrics are different.
Ah, okay. I wonder if the music.
I have to. Jeff, how do I turn off my How do I temporarily disable my crisp? Because the problem is it's being filtered out here. Is there a way to do that? Is there a way to filter my crisp? I think there is. That will temporarily turn it off.
There's a way to do it, yeah. I think you go to the crisp and you can shut it off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think I just turn off the noise cancellation. I think that's what I do. Okay. All right, let's listen.
Well, it's been 4 years and 1,000 tears dealing with Gary Gens. A broken law was a wrecking ball for all his corrupt friends. Well, I held XRP and watched him lie on CNBC until Trump got re-elected, fired him immediately. And the last day of Gary's reign, we've been held back and we're tired, and we can't take any more pain. The last day, never to return again. The last day. last day of Gary's reign.
There it is right there.
Yep.
NFA, Gary's Last Day. Well done. Some excellent parodies. That certainly is one of them. Fantastic job and work as usual. Well played for sure.
Yes, very well played.
We got some Ripple X news here. We've got this. We'll get into the geopolitics part of the show, but we got XLS 65, XLS 66.
New standards, man.
Yeah, so the XLS 65 is flexible single asset vaults with customizable withdrawal policies, permission domains. So that sounds positive. And also fixed term uncollateral loans with dynamic risk protection and amortized payments. So you can see that it's getting quite sophisticated. Very, very sophisticated.
It's really interesting, so their discussion of, and as we're starting to see things progress, getting into regular finance infrastructure, regular financial product. Now it's got to get more serious, more geared up towards some form of risk prevention, adhering to some sort of regulatory confine. Can't be the Wild West anymore. So it's interesting, Chip, to really see how this is all being, kind of, I won't say restructured, but let's say amended to become more and more serious for true application. And so I like this, as we start looking at, how are they impacted XLS 66, a fixed term, we're talking about, I like that, dynamic risk protection, amortized payment. I mean, there's so many components within the XRPL. And this is where from day one, if you look at the XRPL, you look at the power of the XRPL, you look at the direction that the XRPL can go. There's so many components to it, so much technology that's been baked into the XRPL that you just don't have in any other chain at this point. And so now they have to tap into it. The key is also the amendment process, right? So if we look at the AMM clawback ruling that they're voting on right now, and that's a key amendment to the infrastructure. Those two aspects are key amendments to the infrastructure and growth within the infrastructure. And it's all about, I would say, perfecting the solution. And so that's important, right? So if you look at Bitcoin's fixed. You can't really do much more unless you build something additional to it, or if you switch chain, or whatever you're going to do. So that's how we got additional quote unquote Bitcoins, as they kind of branch off. But here it's all about it's about the development of the infrastructure for the betterment of the product and to see how much more it can do. So Chip, that to me, it's really super, super impressive. That's what, and it's going to keep going, keep getting more.
Yeah, I mean, especially on the DeFi side of the house is where it's really getting impressive. So Chad is asking a really good question, and I think we should all be asking ourselves, where's the link to that video? Well, it's pretty simple. You go to onthechain.io. Immediately following the show, we release every link to every story we talk about. Jeff and I do a lot of show prep. So sometimes there will be even bonus links and things in there that we just never get to. Why? Because we talk too much. It's a talking sort of a podcast, and we don't know when to quit sometimes, and that's how it works. But if you guys let me go ahead and drop this link in here, because this is what I want you guys all to do. I want you to take 1 minute to go do this now. You got an assignment. Let's see who can complete the assignment here. You go to onthechain.io. You scroll down to the bottom. You can see like the last two shows. Here we go. And then right there, you put your email address in here, and you put your name. Doesn't have to be your real name. It could be any name. You put your name there. We don't sell the lists. All we do is we send you, as soon as the show wraps, you get a link to the voice only podcast. You get the link to the video. You get all the things we talk about. And there might be an ad or two for the Badass Yeti coffee or potentially the Badass Yeti's NFTs. But again, that's another way to learn how to do it. But you'll see everything inside of that link. And at the end of the show, just check your email. You'll have all the links. Everything we talked about, you go, oh, I wanted to share that, or I wanted to watch that again. That's where we do that. So Chad, SoFlo, Thomas Brennan, everybody get over there. Zober, Laurel, get over there, and let's get it. Go ahead and sign up. But that's how you do it. So thanks for the question. Really do appreciate it.
Chip, Joe is saying, thanks, Gary. You served a purpose. You gave me and thousands of others 4 years to pack our bags. Your crooked ass changed my life forever, Gary. Bye-bye.
See, this is what I
That's a
like.
good
That's the
spin on it,
positive
right?
way, right? That's the positive spin right there, you know? That's how you want to look at these things. You want to keep it a positive one. It is also on YouTube as well, but Justin, don't take the thunder away, man. You got to go to onthechain.io and sign up because you will get the links after that. And you know, you're not going to make every show. Now, we'd love you to be at every show, but you're not going to make every show. So you can see, what did we talk about? What were some of the links? You don't have to listen to it. You can we'll go back and check it out, but there you go.
That's it. Jason saying, hey guys, don't forget Gary taught blockchain at MIT. You think they'll take him back? So you know what's interesting, Chip? I was thinking about it. It was funny because I was talking to my dad last night about it, and I said that, you know, how is it that as he's leaving, right, he's on his way out the door and he drops another lawsuit, right, and he puts another lawsuit out there. I said, what an asshole! Like, why does he have to be such an asshole, you know, to do that? I mean, you think about it, right? And then I thought about it. And, you know, my dad said, that's because he is an asshole. I'm like, that's a good point.
Right.
You know, I said, you're right. And then I thought about it and I said, and if he didn't do it, then he'd be a complete asshole, right? Because he has to do it because he's an asshole. So if he didn't drop the lawsuit, then he would look at everybody and say, hey, you expected me to do it. And if I don't do it, I'm just going to be a complete asshole if I don't do it. So
assholedness, you know, begets assholedness, right? You have to be, if you're gonna be it, you better be better. I mean, there's something you excel at, and Gary has excelled at that. You gotta do what you can. You know, suing Elon Musk 3 years after the fact, when everybody just gets a fine. You know, they usually drop a fine on somebody, but no, he has to show his muscle. What he's really, and by the way, he put a video out that was so. I don't even want to play the video. It's so dumb. It's like praising himself of all the great things he thinks he did right up here in his head. I mean, it's insane. So let's talk. Well, he did nothing but anything. So here's Jack McDonald. Jack McDonald, you'll remember, CEO of Standard Custody, which was acquired by Ripple, but he's also the SVP over at Ripple of stablecoins. And he said, as U.S. regulation advances, standards will evolve, innovation will expand, and real utility will take off. Ripple and the Ripple USD are ready to lead the charge. Thanks to, let me go ahead and mouse over this. Elise Keys and Digital Frontier for sharing my insights. And there's a cool article that was authored here. And again, this link will be posted. We're not going to run through everything, but it's a really good read. Don't tread on me, baby. There you go. That's a pretty cool animation. But it's a very cool article. I recommend it, and we will post that link as well. Also, too, so in the Coinbase news, Paul Grewal, which is she's the chief legal officer over the Coinbase, been very vocal throughout the tenure of Gary Gensler. He talks a little crypto, a lot of law, way too much Ohio sports. And so he said, today we asked the Second Circuit to take on our interlocutory appeal. Decades of appellate precedent confirms that an investment contract requires something contractual. The circuit can provide some urgently needed guidance on the foundational question of law. He goes on to say that there's a lot of detail in the filing, but simply put, the trades on Coinbase's platform do not trigger the federal securities laws. As I've said repeatedly, Coinbase does not list securities. Last week, the district court acknowledged that the issues were raised present a clear and controlling question of law, substantial ground of difference of opinion, and now, after 4 years of uncertainty, we finally have the chance to put this question to bed once and for all. And I love that he said that. And the thing is Coinbase, Jeff, admittedly, Coinbase is a little bit late on the fight, right? They were complying, they were bending the knee, they were okay, we'll pay the fine, and then they got sued again. Where Ripple had be cautious how I said this, but they had the fortitude to stand up and say, hell no, we know we're on the right side of history. We know we're on the right side of the law, and they fought. Now it helps to have hundreds of millions of dollars in the coffers to be able to do such. They, it supposedly was anywhere between 150 to 200 million just to fight off the SEC. We know companies like Library certainly didn't have that in the coffers to do it. But listen, whether they're late to the party or not, they did stand up and they did fight back. And you know what? What made it easier to do that, Jeff? Ripple winning. That's what made it easier to do that. It made it easier for everybody to say, hey, because the funny thing about the SEC is they lose 1 out of 3. So they're not if you're getting challenged or sued by the SEC, it doesn't mean everything. Right. Meta Lawman, who I love, chimed in and said, post-Gensler era begins. Coinbase filed the motion for the Second Circuit for permission to proceed with its interlocutory appeal. Now, here's the fascinating part. The SEC is permitted to file an opposition in the motion within 10 days. This could be the very first brief filed by the SEC in the post-Gensler era. Now, remember, the SEC opposed Coinbase's motion to certify the appeal at the district court level, and then they lost. So will the SEC stick to the position, reverse course, or say nothing? We'll find out in 10 days. So we'll have to watch this, Jeff, because until the new chair is actually voted on and approved, like passes, and Trump has to nominate somebody as an interim chair. Now, is the interim chair going to take the reins and be on top of this, or are they just not going to file anything? I mean, what are your thoughts? You think they're going to? I think they're probably just going to ignore it.
Something's going to happen,
Well, that's true, Jeff. You called it. See, Jeff predicted right here. You guys heard it here. Jeff predicted something will happen, and he's right.
Something, yeah. I think
the thing.
That thing. It's going to be key. You look at the calendar, and just to see some of the things that are currently going on with the SEC, they can't just drop it. So there has to be, some very definitive answers on things, right? Do they reverse course? Do they do something? Doing nothing's not going to be an option. It's all about clear regulatory outcome, and with the right people in place, they're going to look back on all the negative lawfare that has been taking place under the current administration, which includes with all the unelected bureaucrats. So Gary Gensler that's used lawfare to attack the innovation in this country, to go after and just over, why is it dragging companies in front of the SEC, making up his own legal authority, over it, and trying to set precedent, destroying companies like what he did with Library, just dismantle them, and now we're, if, like you said, deep pockets, if it wasn't for Ripple's deep pockets, that could have disrupted. Had they brought them down and kept fighting, expected them to back down and say, hey, let's take a settlement and say that XRP is a security, that would have had such a detrimental impact on the entire market as a whole. But what it would have also done is pushed it. It would have decimated the retail involvement in it until the institutions got a stranglehold on it. So that was part and parcel of it. So he was working not on behalf of the people, but on behalf of whatever institutions wanted to either collapse it or take control of it. Right. And they're trying to get ahead of it. And so that, when you think about it from that perspective, that's at an end. So based on new administration guidelines, lawfare, and using that kind of unelected bureaucratic authority is coming to an end. And also what we're going to see starting the 21st. So Tuesday morning, Doge is going to be in act, full swing. There's going to be some things happening. They're cutting, people are going to start getting fired. They're going to start moving some of these unelected bureaucratic cesspool offices, whatever square footage they take up in DC. Most of these people aren't even showing up for work. So it's like, hey, you know what? You don't want to come to work. You don't have a job. Or, hey, you know what? You're moving to the tundra up in Alaska someplace because that's where it should be. Let's break it apart. Let's move these offices all over the country. Move them to Alaska, move them to climate areas that, some of the communities that need an injection of employment.
Just get rid of them.
Yeah, for the most part, let's break them up because you don't need them. You don't need the, Board of Education and all this nonsense that just, they take teachers that can't make it as teachers. Like, hey, we'll give you an administrative job to decide what the kids are going to be taught. So, but you couldn't make it as a teacher because they didn't want you there. So let's just give you more authority to have negative impact on the kids.
Well, now in New Jersey, you don't even need to read in New Jersey anymore. They're like, well, it's too hard to be a teacher these days. So you don't really need to be able to read or pass like a test at a 6th grade level. No, let's just go ahead. Let's put you in charge of the children. You'll be 10. Yeah, I wanted to get to this, Jeff. So Thomas Brennan became a YouTube member, and look at this right here. He just said, just joined, the best $4.99 a month that I'll be spending. And I can't tell you, Thomas, how much we appreciate that, because that's what helps pay for the software, and we use a lot of software for this, and that's kind of what pays for everything, keeps the lights on around here. So it makes, because Jeff and I always said, like, if we got to come out of pocket for this, I'm not going to be as excited about the two. I shouldn't have to pay to do this, so we don't. Thank God. Thanks for everybody and all the support But yeah, we appreciate it. Every little bit does help. And yeah, couldn't be happier when I see things like that. So thank you for for coming back time and time again. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
E369. Look at that from Australia. We got such a great group of supporters out in Australia or down in Australia, over in Australia. That is over and down and over. You know,
Down
it's
under.
really, it's so cool down under. So cool to see people showing up, you know, from Slovakia to Australia, you know, to the
We'll be
plains
back
and
in May.
all over the place.
So hello, lads. Much love and respect from Australia. Been under the pump for months now, hoping to see you in Australia, the Gold Coast again. So we will be back in the Gold Coast in May, the beginning of May. So very excited about that. Go ahead and take that one, Jeff.
Burdened by what has been. That's right. Starting 12 Eastern.
Unbided.
Unbided.
Unbided by what has been. Yeah, of course. What's interesting. So one other thing from Coinbase here that I want to talk about. Check this out, Jeff. Bitcoin-backed loans are here. Borrow USDC against Bitcoin without selling it.
Yeah.
Rolling out to the U.S. users, for example, except for New York, of course. You know what else is new? Starting now, more collateral assets to regions to come, powered by Morpho Labs and built on Base. The future of finance is on chain. But Jeff, you want to know where the future of blockchain commentary and geopolitical talk is? You want to know where that is?
Where's that?
Right here on the chain.
That's right.
The future of finance is on chain. The future political and blockchain conversations is on the chain. Right here, you'll be getting commentary from Jeff and I, talking all about this stuff. And again, so I'm like, well, what could go wrong? You know, somebody's going to go in there, over collateralize something. Bitcoin's going to take a drop and they're going to get liquidated. So I don't know.
Chip, trademarked on the chain.
Trademark on the chain is trademarked. Remember that one show on CNBC tried to start up? And they got a little note from our attorney. And funny thing, we never heard from them again. This is Nikki Chain for on the chain. Nope. Crush those hopes and dreams. Gone. Eliminated. So yeah, you got to trademark your name. Jeff, thank you for teaching us that lesson. Tell them why we know that lesson about your
that was a brutal lesson. And what a douche too. You know, what was it? Was it the HODL thing? I originally started, my first podcast was the HODL Report. Hey, this is Jeff from the HODL Report. On today's video, we're going to talk about, so started up the HODL Report. All of a sudden, I get an email from someone that said, hey, I've got this name trademarked, and I have my website. I've got all this stuff, and, you know, you need to cease and desist, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked back, and unfortunately, I think the trademark had started kind of in and around the same time that I started, you know, when he filed. And I said, you know what, screw it. So I switched to the HODL Review, and hence the HODL Review came into being. But the lesson learned is when we started on the chain, it's like, hey, you know what, as we're walking down this path, let's learn from our, a previous issue, and let's not repeat that. That was like number one thing that we did was,
and then we
trade.
Yeah. So then that was when we came together doing that crypto video for Congress. And then we said, like, dude, why don't we just join forces? It'd be so much more fun to do it forces. Started the live stream. Jeff and I are posting videos independently. And quite honestly, it's a lot more fun to do it live and have the conversation. Otherwise, you're just like you're like in a vacuum, sitting there looking at your computer, like, hi, blah, 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 and this happened and that happened. You're like, it's just not as exciting. It's just not as fun. So people that do that all the time, it's like you're working, and then collaborating on ideas and talking about stuff. Like, you don't have that. It's just yourself. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit on the boring side. So this is way more.
It's so funny, Chip. I think back to when I started, and I'm looking at the other people that were making videos, and I'm thinking, like, the key people that I used to listen to was Jungle Inc., Crypto Eddie, and then it was eventually it was what was his name, DM Logic, and it was just interesting to see the process. I used to watch your videos,
Oh yeah,
Chip here with the XRP minute, and so
legendary.
And it was great.
Never did one in 1 minute though.
No, but that was like your videos used to stick on my mind. I remember watching these videos. It's like, I got to get to know these guys. These guys are so cool. And then all of a sudden, somehow we're all in a group together. And when I started reaching out, I mean, it was like the process of it. When I first started the video, my first video that I made, I put it together. I'm watching videos. I can do that. But my goal was I want to learn about blockchain and crypto more in depth. And by making the videos, it would make me learn more, right? If I had to present it, I had to learn about it. And so that to me was like, the most important part of it. And then getting to meet everybody, came after as I started seeing the crowd. But it was funny. The first time I dipped my toe into XRP and I dug into it, the technology, and made this video, and it just blew up. And it was early on. I don't think I like 10, 15, 20,000 views or whatever. And lots of people liked it. And then all of a sudden I started getting attacked by people that followed Alex Cobb. And one guy just kept attacking me on every video. He goes, "You can't make these videos. This is Alex Cobb space. You can't do this." Well, and he used to attack me like, yeah, it was very bizarre.
Yeah, that is weird. There was that one kid that was like 14 or 15. And he used to make XRP videos because dad got him an XRP. That was entertaining. He's probably like
I remember that
30 now. I don't know. But
he's probably a multi-billionaire at this point.
Yeah, it was an interesting space back in in the day, and it was great meeting Crypto Eddie in Australia and hanging out. That was a really cool privilege to do that too, and hanging out with Dirk from Expector and just a lot of great people that you have respect for. John Deaton, we spent a lot of time. We had dinner with John Deaton. We spent a lot of time chatting. Believe it or not, chatting a lot about politics, not so much about crypto, but when he was preparing for his upcoming run, and we were talking about it, and it was a really was a fun time to be alive, even for us. Like we doing the blockchain, co-MCing the blockchain conference was phenomenal. I mean, what an honor to do that. But for us too, even hanging out with the Bearable Bull. I mean, I hung out with him and chatted him up much, quite a bit. We had great conversations, but just all the people that were there from the different projects. It was like, here we are fanboying over the projects, like, oh my God, we're meeting these people, and so we're in the same sort of space where like it's exciting to meet and hear directly from Jay from Spend the Bits was there. I hung out with Jay a lot, and Jay was, talking about Spend the Bits and what he was working on. And it was an amazing time. It's going to be another amazing time coming up. Speaking of amazing times, Jeff, whoever thought this? Ellie Terra said lots of bigwigs at the crypto ball waiting to hear from Snoop Dogg, watching Snoop Dogg perform. David Sachs, of course, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase. We had Stu Alderati from Ripple, Joe Lubin from Ethereum, Brad Garlinghouse, Senator and Loomis. And then this guy's got me blocked, Ryan Selkis, because he's a small man that has a very fragile ego. He did a universal block. He went out and found everybody's who had XRP in their bio and blocked them. So he's a little man with a fragile ego. He just can't take anything. So he's just a small man. Really the mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez, we tried to get on the program a couple of times. And Elon Musk's brother, Kimbrel's there. So he was there as well. And we don't hear so much from him, but he was there. And there it is right there. There's David Sachs up on stage. Now this is the inaugural crypto ball, right? And so Stu Alderati chimed in. Stu's like, if I had told you 4 years ago that I'd be standing at the inaugural crypto ball in DC with Snoop Dogg, would you have believed me? Yeah, me neither. Like, look at this. There's Stu and there's Snoop. Yep. Like, who would have put these two guys together, right?
That's really funny.
Snoop Dogg on stage performing, dropping some beats. Everybody in there, look, black, black tie. I don't know, suits. Everyone's all dressed up, having a swell time. But there's Stu. Who, by the way, a little birdie told me lives in Delray Beach. Just saying, Jeff.
Oh,
that's what I've heard, Jeff. Just saying. That's what I've heard. He lives in Delray.
Where are we not getting the in-person interviews?
This is why don't we get an in-person interview? It's like right.
No, he's that close.
It's a skip, jump.
Go to the boys market and
then look at this. Look who I bumped into on the way to the crypto ball. John Deaton. Look at that. Looking super dapper. It looks like he's dropped some weight too. He's looking real trim and phenomenal. Ellie's looking fantastic. Look at that. What a great photo. I don't know what he's wearing there. Is those medals or something? I don't know what that is. It's beautiful, man.
Potential military service.
Yeah, it could be, man. He's got the flag pin on. Yeah. What a great time. A crypto ball. You know who wasn't there? You know where I can guarantee you? Elizabeth Warren didn't show up.
Elizabeth Warren and
the old lady that yells at the sky. She's completely rendered irrelevant. She yells at the sky every day on Twitter, and X, I should say, formerly known as Twitter. She yells at the sky, the engine, the former, and then this one, Jeff, forgot this one. Gary Cardone was there too, and he did a video, and he's got to be hammered in this video. He's just all like, "Hey, John Deaton's in the house," and he did a video. John reposted it, and I was like, Gary Cardone's funny when you get him on these X Spaces, man. He's drops a lot of F bombs. He's a funny dude. Yeah, he's Grant Cardone's brother, and they look a lot alike. I mean, you can tell they're brothers. But that was an interesting.
Yeah, here's a couple really interesting posts right here. So we got Zober saying, "So what crypto companies from around the world will move to the U.S. to grow?" And I think that's interesting. There's some key companies that are already here that had potentially migrated some of their stuff offshore. But I think, crypto exchanges definitely are going to benefit from it. But then you're going to see anybody building in the space. Obviously, Ripple, big benefactor of it. And I believe that we're going to see a lot of new innovation building in and around the space. I would like to see a company that is focused in on transparency in the voting process. I would like to see more tokenization of real world asset. I'd like to see more tokenization of real estate. I'd like to see a simplification of the purchase and transfer of ownership of real estate. I would like to see the simplification due to transparency and trust lines. And I think that we're going to see a lot of that. I'd like to see fragment, is that the right terminology? Fragmented ownership, or there's another word for that, of these different real world assets. So you can have multiple owners in it. There's so many things that are going to happen as we move forward. So I think there's new companies that we haven't even heard of. And there's some that are in the shadows that are out there that have been trying to develop and build, but due to Gary Gensler and the cronies, they couldn't come to light. I look at some of the things that Chip and I, had talked about and worked on and couldn't do it, mainly because we're not overseas. There's no path to regulatory clarity. There's no way to really develop and build without being decimated, like what happened to Library. I think that's the retribution. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of positives that are going to start, come January 21st. And we're going to see big momentum in that direction. What are your thoughts, Chip?
I don't have any thoughts on that, Jeff, because I was doing about 3 other things. And
Jason Chember said,
and idly listening. So
that's all right. Remember the scene in Pirates of the Caribbean when Jack figured out how to flip the ship? Do you think Trump is about to flip the ship? Trump has already flipped the ship. Now it's a matter of righting the ship. He's already trying to get rid of all the garbage. So Doge is coming in. All these great things are coming in. January 21st is going to be a new day. The world is already, has reverberated, since November 5th. We went through some down peak because people still, they believed it, the passion, but there was a lot of concern, tons of concern that, we're not going to make it to Inauguration Day. Inauguration Day is around the corner. Positivity is lifting up. January 21st is going to be an unbelievable, rocket ship in the right direction. That rest of that weight just gone. When we finally see everybody's gone, everybody hits the road, and Gary Gensler's gone, and the lawfare's over, and Biden is gone, and I'll just get rid of it all, right? Just
bring on the
clean
party.
Up Washington and start closing shit down. It's going to be unbelievable. The next 6 months are going to be, undeniable. It's just, so the 21st, think about executive orders that have to be signed to undo all the negative executive orders that Biden passed. That's why executive orders can be detrimental, right? They're short term. They can only be put in place for a certain time. But many of the policies and orders that were passed through the current administration and under Obama's administration had to be undone or brought to court because they were unconstitutional. And so that's where we're heading again, right? So January 21st, that's like number one. Step number one is get rid of all the stuff that he did to impact this country negatively and embolden our enemies. And so that's like day number one. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. January 21st and 22nd, right out of the gate. And then the markets, I anticipate, and I could be completely wrong about this. I'm looking at Bitcoin at 104,000 right now. I anticipate that Bitcoin is going to spike on the 21st or 22nd. I believe the stock markets are going to wait. It's going to be a little, okay, what's happening here on the 21st? And we're going to see another big jump. It's just the positivity, the momentum, the excitement, the understanding and knowledge of the direction that we're moving into, over the next, the balance of this quarter is going to be unprecedented growth on a global scale in this country. That's
Amazing.
what we're going to.
Michael Ray says the Trump meme coin is a bit disheartening, don't you think? Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, there's no reason to put a meme coin out. Just say you're pro crypto. I'm not into all that. And there's been all that chatter and buy it. It's not my thing, man. No, they are numbered. They are numbered.
Gary coming back on what? I forgot my pen.
Too late.
I would love to see him walking out with his box of goodies.
Technically, the 20th is his last day. I mean, he actually said it. But this is what the left has right now, Jeff. They've completely out of ideas. They don't even want to change. They're doubling down on stupid. But this is David Axelrod, and Axelrod. Well, who was he in the Obama administration? He was, I think he was a advisor.
Yeah,
but Axelrod is very detrimental. So here's what happened. So Trump has made the decision to move the inauguration. It's going to be like 10 degrees. It's going to be bitter cold. From the where it normally is, going to move it inside the rotunda and the Capitol. And so the left is like going mad. Oh, Trump is a baby. He can't handle the cold weather. So David Axelrod said in 1961, John F. Kennedy was inaugurated on the Capitol steps in wind chills of 7 degrees. It was almost as cold for Obama in 2009. In fairness, Trump is more than 3 decades older than JFK and Obama were. Or does he just fear small crowds? This is what they got. They don't spend their time debating policy. This is douchebag. And of course, one of my favorite people of all time, John Ocasio-Rodham Nolte. John Nolte, but he's always changed his name to Ocasio and Rodham. But John, by the way, I suggest following this dude because he is the funniest guy. I love his political commentary. He writes for Breitbart. He's probably one of the greatest things you'll ever read. And he said, well, yeah, Trump got up, rallied the crowd after being shot in the face. Obama throws a baseball like a girl. Do you remember? Do you remember when Obama went to throw the ball out and he had those mom jeans pulled up to like past his belly? He had those big mom jeans floods on and he threw Jeff, you know how you like if you throw a ball, like if you throw a ball with your left hand, like how girly that would look. That's how Obama threw the baseball. So it's like he throws a baseball like
I have trouble throwing now because I have a tear in my shoulder that I haven't properly fixed. So it's hard to throw. Like if you think about the power you need behind throwing a football or a baseball or anything like that. There was a period of time, even going out and playing tennis, I had to play with my left arm, because if you go out and play, I couldn't hit the ball properly. Just the impact of the ball, you'd feel it and you can't properly hold the racket. So I play left-handed and it's such a challenge. It's a complete mind fuck, just trying to, first you got to focus on coordination and then you got to look at kind of the presence of depth and all of that. And you just look bizarre. It's hilarious, but it's good. Both sides over there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Douchebag that. Why is he, again, why does Axelrod have to be such a douchebag? Oh, that's right. Because he is. But the fact that they have to follow the fake, tired narrative of Trump getting small crowds and he's afraid of small crowds. It's like they keep going to this tired narrative that is pushing their entire audience, red pilled over to MAGA, right? Everyone's coming to MAGA. Those that are left on the sidelines, screw them. Eventually they'll come to MAGA too, because they realize make America great again. If you're in Australia, you know what? Make Australia great again. You can have a MAGA movement over there. can have a MAGA movement everywhere. You want to be in Britain, it's MB, MB GA. There you go. Make Britain great again. Make whatever country in great again. It's amazing. That's
Speaking
what MAGA
of Britain, Jeff.
These guys are.
Here we go. Here's Kier.
Klaus,
over the Yeti. There
we have
go.
a problem.
For fuck's sake again, Kier. Why can't you figure things out on your own?
I'm sorry, Daddy Klaus, but they are all signing a petition to get me to resign. What do I do?
Make something up like we did with climate change. Or call everyone who signed it far-right racist bastards.
So I shouldn't resign?
Of course not, for fuck's sake. You really are a complete dipshit, like Donald Trump said.
He only doesn't like me because I did what you told me to do and sent 100 Labour members over.
Just stand up for yourself. Who's my big brave boy?
I am.
Louder like you mean it. Who is my big brave boy?
I am, Sugar Daddy Klaus. I am.
All the pieces are nearly in place. Stay in power at all costs.
We're here to mock, we're here to play the ministry's anthem, watch dismay, every deceit, every false display.
Yeah, that's a great site, by the way. It's a great parody site on UK. If you follow UK politics, man, it's a phenomenal site to follow. This is great. Here's a reaction to this woman. I love her take on this, but after she watched Biden's farewell address.
So I just got done watching Biden's farewell speech. Watching his speech is like the perfect summary of what the last 4 years has been like. Overabundance of gaslighting, lack of accountability, lies, finger pointing, and stumbling of words. And it's the reason why he is going to still go down as not only the one president who has had the longest career in politics, but the one president who managed to become a president after having the longest career in politics, but the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. You took time to finally address the American people, despite all of the chaotic shit that has been going on under your fucking watch, to finally address us in a farewell speech, to warn us about the incoming administration. We've literally been watching you ruin our country. We're watching you send money overseas like every other week. We watched you ignore that we had drones that were floating over our country and you motherfuckers didn't do shit about it. Y'all ignored the shit. We watched you ignore that. We watched you fall asleep overseas in Africa. And then not only that, you gave them motherfuckers money while we still got people that are sleeping in tents out in North Carolina. We watched you be a poor fucking president. We watched you do this. We watched you. We watched you lie and say that you were going to do a peaceful transition of power. Meanwhile, shortly after that, you just completely just dropped the ball on everything that you said. You just been frivolously spending fucking money and doing whatever the fuck you wanted to do. So we watched you do that. We watched you do that. You could sit here and say that the reason why there's cease and fire is because you said that. I've been trying to do that shit for months. My fucking president helped that shit out. You need to be saying thank you to him. That administration has caused more division, more chaos, more mental issues, more job loss, more homelessness, more frustration, more anger, more suicide. There has been more school shootings in our country under this administration. I'm going to go to sleep well at night knowing that I did not vote for you. Not only the first time, but I didn't vote for your cackling hen of a vice president either. Goodbye. Good riddance. Sayonara.
My God, she's on freaking fire, dude. I absolutely freaking love that take.
But I think we're also bidding sayonara to TikTok. I believe it's on its way out, isn't it? Doesn't it need to go
away on the 19th? However, I know there's a bid to buy it. I know Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary has a bid out there, and I have a feeling that it, could come back. But on the whole TikTok thing, Jeff, we always talk about corruption. And corruption, people think that corruption's one side of the aisle. Corruption is a Congress, period, okay? And so based on TikTok, I'm glad you brought that up, but listen to this. TikTok. Look at this TikTok. Here we go.
Get your popcorn out. I'm about to shit on a Republican. This is Representative Michael McCall. And you may not know him, but if you're on this app, you should. Because he wrote the bill to ban TikTok. But he's also done some other really interesting shit recently. So here's Mike's recent questionable activity. On March 3rd, he authored the TikTok ban bill. Then on March 22nd, he invested $150,000 in Meta. On the 26th, he invested another $150,000, and on the 28th, he invested another $150,000. So about 3 weeks after writing the TikTok ban bill, this man invested $450,000 in TikTok's competitor. Oh, and then what did he do once he saw his TikTok ban was going to be included with all the Ukraine funding? Well, on April 1st, he invested $350,000 more in Meta, followed by the 5th, where he invested that again. And then about a week later, of course, he voted yes on the bill he wrote. So within the span of 40 days, this dude wrote the TikTok ban bill, proceeded to invest $450,000 in the competitor, and then invested another $700,000, taking his total investment in Meta to $1.15 million. And then he voted yes. Now, obviously, the word most people are using here is suspicious, but the word we should be using is criminal. This man wrote the fucking bill to ban TikTok, proceeded to invest more than $1 million in its competitor, whose stock will skyrocket if TikTok actually gets banned, and then voted on the bill to ban it. Are you paying attention yet?
So, Chip,
corruption everywhere, man.
Just for clarity on that, March 22nd of 2024, Meta, let me make sure this is clear. Yep, Meta, which is no longer Facebook. Meta was sitting at a high. It opened at 505. So it's 505. Earlier in the month, it was in the 400s, playing 400, 505. So let's look at Meta today, just as a point of clarity. So let's see. Meta stock price is sitting at, so it was $612. So his, 1 point whatever million, depending on number of shares, it's gone up $100, 100 points. There you go. $100 increase on that share. What is that percentage? Whatever gain growth that is. The stock definitely saw some nice. If you look at this last 6 months, let's look past year. So let's go back into April, March. It's interesting. You kind of see the little, it's just been a continuous climb on Facebook. But Facebook overall, though, over the past 5 years, I mean, to be fair, it's definitely highly suspicious activity, when we see that. So let me pull up my screen here real quick. I just want to show the growth projection. And it's interesting too, because what do they know when it's going? But if we look at 2023, 22, when Facebook's sitting at $99 a share, back here, and look at this growth pattern, just nonstop. But it's interesting. We get into this March, it's already kind of boosted here. So obviously they knew, there's some knowledge in the markets, but it's just been a continuous steady rise. Was there a point of mega, is it where it had a massive impact? I don't know, March 22nd, we were kind of sitting at a high point already in the marketplace, so can we say the bill had a major impact? I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't know. It seems very suspicious, but if you track all the stock purchases of these guys, it's all insider trading. That's the problem.
Well, yeah,
inside knowledge, leveraging that to buy stock. At least having some advanced warning. A couple other videos. I know we're kind of running a little bit late, but there's a couple of videos I wanted to play that I thought would be pretty decent to talk about here. This is let me see which one. Yeah, this is Brandon Gill. And this guy is going to be something in Congress. But listen to this exchange right here. This is what I'm loving about these hearings is it used to be, and this is what Trump taught people how to be Republicans: to not cower, to not apologize, stick up for what you believe in, and fight for your belief. Don't cower of I want to be liked by everybody. I want to go on the mainstream media and I want to be liked. No, this is not it. But watch this.
Influence upon
foreign
the highest
influence.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't they be? That is something that would fall under our purview in this committee. And Mr. Chairman,
with all due respect, ma'am, you weren't concerned about $27 million of foreign influence that was laundered.
FTX.
Now, Ms. Stansberry, laundered we can debate on the term of laundering. I don't think you understand
to?
what laundering means.
If you yield, we can,
But that,
we can
no,
discuss
because
it.
this
Only
is Miss
15 seconds.
Crockett's time, and it's about to
I will go
expire.
ahead and yield to Ms. Stansbury then.
She's got 10 seconds.
All right. Well, Mr. Chairman, this is a bit absurd, but you know, it's very clear this committee did investigate Donald Trump did launder his
Time's
money
expired.
through
Any
his
further member seek
hotels,
recognition?
and we will provide the
Mr. Chair.
report which you suppressed. Thank you.
Mr. Gill, Chair recognizes Mr. Gill from Texas.
Thank you. I find it rich that the other side of the aisle is suddenly concerned about corruption and ethics. Whenever President Biden just gave his son a 10-year blanket pardon for foreign influence peddling and whatever else he was doing while high on whatever drugs with whatever prostitutes. I also find it rich that all of a sudden the other side has some problem with successful businessmen being involved in politics whenever you guys are the party of George Soros, of Bill and Melinda Gates, of Sheryl Sandberg, of Mackenzie Bezos, of Taylor Swift, of so many other billionaires across the country, as well as every woke, weird pervert in Hollywood. I find this incredibly disingenuous. I think the reality is that the Republican Party under President Trump has a very clear mandate from voters, and you guys don't like it because voters rejected everything you stand for and every policy that you've shoved down the American people's throats over the past 4 years, whether it's open borders, a failing economy, raging inflation, this weird woke stuff that you guys have been shoving down our children's throats, and the voters rejected you and they welcomed our party. So with that, I yield my time, but I find this conversation incredibly rich from the other side.
Yeah, that's what you call laying down the hammer, right? I mean, Jeff, and here's another video I want to show. Now, Paul Ryan is the biggest douchebag ever in the Republican Party, right? This guy is a complete asshat. He endorsed Kamala Harris. He was the Speaker of the House when Trump was president. This is how far, and Trump basically bounced his ass, right? So all these people with fragile egos got like pushed out. But watch this. I mean, you're not going to see too many of this kind of awesome stuff on CNBC. But there's one guy there, super conservative, and he's going to call your ass out when you act like an asshat. And here we go.
Now you're calling for unity.
I am calling for unity.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Would have been nice before the election.
He won. Look, he won.
The other thing I thought was funny that you said was when you said, hey, look, I want Trump to succeed. You know who that sounds like? It sounds like a Democrat. It sounds like a Democrat saying,
well,
you know
I hope
what?
the Democrats sound like that.
Well, of course you want Trump to succeed. You're a Republican.
Here, look, I'm a conservative Republican. I'm a free market, limited government.
No, but you know what I'm saying. That's who I hear.
Yeah, but my
saying
brand of
things.
Conservatism doesn't always overlap with Trump populism.
I understand, but it was about.
What is his brand of conservatism? Because he opposed everything Trump ever did. And Trump, I mean, I loved Reagan, but Trump was far more conservative than Reagan ever was. When you look at everything, you look at his entire policies across the board was more conservative, and he'll be far more conservative this time around. How is he calling himself a conservative Republican when he doesn't believe anything that what Trump's up to? And he endorsed Kamala Harris. Come on, dude. Seriously?
Binary. But you know we argued about that.
I know we argued. I don't know.
Binary all along. It was always binary. And a vote not for Trump was a vote for Kamala Harris. Can you imagine?
I know you want to get back to this.
Huh?
Here's the point. A lot of this agenda, my kind of conservatism, Trump populism, it overlaps.
Okay.
We disagree on trade and things like that. I'm not with trade fights on China, but I'm not a big fan of all the tariffs on our allies. But the point is, all this other stuff, the tax policy, the border policy, the deregulatory policy, very good for America, very good for the economy.
Don't sacrifice the good for the perfect.
It only gets done if Republicans stay unified. And I think it's important that Republicans stay unified.
Okay.
Took him to the woodshed, Jeff. Brilliant. He called his ass out, called him basically a Democrat. You know, he sounded like a Democrat. You know why? Because he is. He's a rhino. He's a rhino, nut job. And with Trump coming back in, Jeff, I think it's fair to play this video right here.
Just left the building. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency.
What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign. Securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
Breaking news out of Palm
The
Beach,
FBI
Florida.
has executed an unprecedented search warrant at President Donald Trump's
Against
Mar-a-Lago
a former
estate.
president has both sides of the political aisle up
Is
in
a
arms.
dangerous and unstable moment in American history.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
7 years. They hated him. They targeted him. They hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged. These types of things, I think, give him strength.
When I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state. As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail.
Contrast it. Kids love it, Jeff. Contrast that with Biden. You know the thing. I mean, my God, what a contrast. We're back on track. And the world's getting back on track. As a result, people thought he was nuts when he reached out to Greenland, said he wanted to buy it. Well, you know what's happening now? They're going independent. They'll do whatever they want. Denmark, see you later. You know, they don't want to be ruled by they'll let them rule themselves. And now they're free to do their own trade agreements, right? They're free to do whatever they want to do. Same thing. Look how hard he trolled Justin Trudeau, and that resulted in him resigning. I mean, well, a lot of other factors too, but that was the one that kind of put him over the edge. So Trump is back. Expect a lot of other leaders to fall. You see what's happening in Germany right now, right? You see that Germany, they're going after the opposition over there. It sounds very familiar playbook that they're running here. Keir Starmer, he's on borrowed time. Macron, another one on borrowed time. So we're having this is going to sweep across the world, and it's going to be fabulous. Let's go ahead and give away a badass Yeti.
Crypto, politics, and XRP, dispelling the FOMO and FUD, setting the record straight. This isn't one of your YouTube fanboys. It's raw, unfiltered badassery. If you're standing up, sit down. This is the Chip Wrench. Let's go.
I'm going to work it on yours, your Jeff rant. You see the Jeff rant. That's going to be a good one. The Jeff rant segment. There you go, Jeff. That's way too much fun with that, Jeff. Way too much fun.
Angry IKEA clip. Dude, that's the best. I love that.
Well, by the way, he made one for TikTok, and I wanted to play it here today, but he did one. He goes, TikTok's closing down. I don't care because they sell your data. Who cares? And he goes, I'm on TikTok. He goes, I'm on Instagram. I'm on here. I'm on there. Scott Cease or something. I don't know how you pronounce his name. But we are giving away a badass Yeti, guys. Type in Yeti for the last time. I'm about ready to draw. Get your zombie wallet ready.
I gotta open it up. I forgot to share the guy that we're giving away today. That's probably important.
Oh my God, Jeff.
It up. How could I forget?
I don't know.
Forgot to open it.
We got 26 entries, guys. Let's see if we can get it up to 30. If you haven't typed in Yeti, YETI, into the box, type Yeti.
This is badass. This one is just pure, unadulterated badass. That's the one we're giving away. This one is true badassery. Now, the thing is that we actually have two to give away today. So this is number one. Hang on a minute. Oh, shoot. I got to show them both because we actually have one that was won over on the Discord to McDreamy, and so McDreamy's getting a badass Yeti as well. So we're actually giving away this guy right here. I like this guy. This is going to, hang on, I'm not sharing my screen, am I? Look at that, Chip. That's how it goes.
Ooh, look at that. Hello.
To McDreamy, who won that over on the Discord. Transferring that to him in a second. So that's a beautiful badass Yeti. If you look at that detail, look at the fire in his eyes. Look at that thing. You know, that guy's badass, throwing fire. You don't want to mess with him on some cold winter day. Might just melt you down. And this is the badass Yeti that we're giving away today. You know what this is? This is a guardian. Now, the guardians of the badass Yeti white tribe, they guard the elders. If you ever seen an elder, and there's a couple elders that have been minted out there. There's only seven total elders that rule the white tribe.
Yeah, we have none. So
no, we don't have any of them, unfortunately.
We don't have any of them. No.
This is the guardian. The guardians guard the elders, and when one of the elders moves on to the next stage of their life in the heavens, one of these guys steps up to replace the elders. So the guardians become elders. But this is if you look at that, I love these guardians. They're just like every, you know, part of the guardian, from their fur to the intricate detail of just everything around them. So this is what the drawing is going to be for. So are we at 30? Where are we at here?
We're at 33, Jeff.
33. This
is it.
That guy right there. We're gonna draw. So
let's draw a Yeti. Here we go. Ready, guys? Let's go. Here goes the drawing.
Here we go.
Who's it gonna be? Who's the winner?
Rolling.
Ray Run wins.
Ray Run. Look at that.
Ray Run, the big winner.
That's awesome.
Ray Run. Beautiful.
Big winner today. Sweet.
Another OG here.
Where's
Go ahead
Ray Run? Ray Run's here.
You're here and drop
here.
Unless you're here first, so we don't have to drop. So we want to know you're here, Ray.
Here. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Here.
Gotta love
Look
that.
Look at his kick-ass one that he's got in there already. Sweet. Good job. Good job on that.
This is for Charles right here. Here we go. Let me
while we're doing that, I'm going to grab McDreamy's.
Here we go. Tell me if you hear audio, Jeff. Do you hear audio?
Banning
TikTok right now.
Banning TikTok because it sells your data and you want to sell it instead. Listen, I don't know what's happening, but you can follow me on Instagram. That's where I post most often. You can also follow me on X, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky, Lemon8, and Red Note. I made a freaking Red Note. What's even going on? Help me. I'm at Scott Cease on everything except for Facebook and YouTube, where I'm at Scott Cease Comedy. I'll see you there.
There you go. I'll see you there.
McDreamy is now verified a proud owner of a badass Fire Yeti. That's McDreamy. Ray Run is going to shortly be the proud owner of a Guardian. So I just saw a thing over here. Let me go into our control panel, and so I can.
It's lazy for cashiers to sit down, and it's weird to care. Work shouldn't be an endurance test. Let them sit. We're not doing a survivor challenge. You don't think people can sit down and work at the same time? You're going to be real mad when you find out what an office is.
That's so freaking funny, dude. Guy's a nut. He really is a nut.
Here we go, yo. Giving this bad boy away. Today's the 18th.
One more, Jeff, while we're doing this here. Here we go.
4-day work week. What's next? 3, 2. Great ideas. You don't want workers to have more time off? What are you, running a garment factory in Les Miserables? Imagine being against something that's good for everyone. This is like someone being anti a good night's sleep or trying to abolish free Slurpee day. Ideally, we all have the same work schedule as Steve from Blue.
Ray Run, it's on its way. Get ready. Gonna scan it. McDreamy already got his. It's on the way. Now Ray Run. Guardian is on its
beautiful.
Wait, verifying. It's been submitted. It's verified, and boom, there you go.
Just like that.
Of a badass.
Let's do this.
Badass Guardian.
On the way out, let's just play this because this is fun. We always have a funny video. And nothing's more fun than this right here. And don't worry, Jeff, it's a parody video, so it's a different song, different words.
I got to worry about it? First of all, I'm not going to worry about it, Phil, because he's not going to win.
He is not going to win.
She's going to win easily.
Is hope and joy rising.
Victory is in sight in less than 3 weeks. I think
these are all the liberals telling you how Trump is going to lose and Kamala Ding Dong is going to win.
That he loses.
We just made history.
How do you like my garbage truck?
But you still can't say freedom is good, communism bad.
Oh, the music. Is that parody?
You thought that you could cheat. Now we laugh at your historic beat. America survived, now you shave your head. Less God we require, more control you desire. Your plans are screwed as crying now. Kamala shouldn't have run. If you've been dealing with years anyone, Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States. The hatred you ignite, division you incite, neither can stop the mega wave.
You okay? I think I'm okay.
Telling us to turn the page, not for the machine you raise. No one believes a word you say. Less God we require, more control you desire. Your plans are screwed, crying out. Rock stars do what they told. Hollywood wrinkly and old. We all laugh at you as you're crying out. So there's so many tears you can cry as your life quickly improves, and then you will see President Trump was always right. The best days yet to come.
Anyway, that was fun. Gotta love that. Got to love it. Appreciate everybody. Monday show will be epic. We're not doing a Monday show. Jeff, are we going to do a live? Are we going to do a watch party?
Man, I feel like we almost have to.
Do a watch party on for the election, for the inauguration.
Man, it'll be pretty amazing.
All right, so you down for it?
We'll have to see. Got meetings, so we'll have to figure out the timing of it.
Well, it's noon. As the inauguration is at noon,
right?
So
we might have to roll something out like that. That'd be pretty sweet.
All right, well, guys, there's a possibility we might be basically doing a watch party at noon, so that would be fun. See what happens there, man. See what happens,
awesome. Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
that'd be sweet.
Oatmeal Stellar, enjoy the best clips in crypto. Time for long johns and a long walk. Enjoy the weekend. Go Trump. All right, guys, let's get there. Appreciate all of you, man. It's a brand new. Expect a nice bull run, and I think it'll eclipse the bull run of 18. I think it's going to go sick. We're in a different era. The crypto had an influence on who got elected this time.
Yep.
Don't underestimate crypto.
So Chip, big shout out to Jennifer Moore over here. Hey guys, I'm new here and love your channel. So hopefully she's still on here watching, but appreciate you being here. Got a lot of new people that have come over to the channel that have been watching it. And, go Bills, Chip. I think.
First, I have to tell you this, Jeff. The Bills unfortunately play at 6:30 on Sunday, which means 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, which means the peak of the game is going to be happening during the show. You know what that means?
Simultaneously
That means
in the
I'm
game
not going to be on the show when I'll be watching my
or
Bills
simultaneous. Be
taking on the
watching
Ravens. Ravens are an amazing team. I mean, the
Why
Ravens
don't we
front
do a
line.
live stream of the game?
We'll get in
Commentary,
trouble with the NFL.
play by play. Well, you can't put it on
NFL
the screen.
will get
You
shut
just have
down.
commentary, play by
Yeah,
play. We'll put it on the big TV here. You'll have it on, and we'll talk about it.
I know, Jason. I know that there's some people here that will have, go Chiefs. Listen, I know you like the Chiefs. Listen, I'm a Bills fan. I've been a Bills fan since I was old enough to know what the Bills were, since I was 5 years old. So, I'm always going to be a Bills fan. Always a Bills fan. So I would just need one Super Bowl. Just give me one Super Bowl. You guys can go back to winning after that. How's that?
There you go, Chip. We have to do our part of history. We've got XRP 369 taking off the day to watch, which is really cool. And then we had
it's going to be phenomenal. Well, it's
Look at
Jeff.
that.
Did you know?
Yep,
Did you also
Sunday.
know that it's? Did you also know that it's MLK Day?
Yes.
So
It's
it
Trump
is.
Inauguration Day and MLK Day.
Yeah, it's MLK Day. So it's hang on a second. I got a video here. Where is it, Jeff? Why is it so hard to find my own damn video?
America. Family. Monday show. Look at that. Mike says Monday show will be epic. Look at Mike is a huge fan of the Badass Yetis coffee. Hence, you see his little avatar there. Badass
Beautiful.
Yetis Noir Symphony. If you haven't got the Badass Yetis coffee, you guys know where to go. If you said, hey, I don't even know where to go. How do I get Badass Yetis coffee? Well, I'll tell you how you get it. This is how you get it. You go to badassyetiscoffee.com. There you go. And go check out some Noir Symphony. And it's beautiful. And if you own an NFT, if you own one of the Badass Yetis and you verify the Badass Yetis, the verification of the Badass Yetis will open up discounts on the Discord directly over to the Badass Yetis coffee, which is pretty kick-ass. And they're pretty big discounts too. So make sure you go to the Discord and you guys verify your Badass Yetis over there. And if you don't know how to get to the Discord, I'm going to send you a link right now to the Discord. And you go straight to the Discord. It's really kick-ass. And you can learn a little bit more about the Badass Yetis. You want to learn the Badass Yeti language? You want to learn bait? Well, there's a document for that. I've been working on a bot to try to create a translator into the Bay language. But if you want to read about the Bay language, you want to read about the history of the Badass Yetis, go to the Discord. It's all over there. It's pretty kick-ass. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, don't forget the hoodie and great merch. You got a lot of great merch over there at onthechain.shop. So really appreciate that. Smash the like on the way out. Really appreciate you guys. And so this would be awesome. Now there's a weird bunch of analysts, football NFL analysts, calling for the Chiefs to lose this weekend. No, not going to happen. It would be the upset, and they're also calling for the Lions to lose. No, not going to happen. Calling for the Bills to lose. Could happen. They're playing the Ravens. Ravens, I think, are the toughest in the AFC. I think they're just a notch above the Chiefs, but we'll see. Listen, the Chiefs know how to win. They won 2 Super Bowls in a row. Never rule them out. So here we go. This woman had a problem with Trump's inauguration being on an MLK Day, and then she's schooled.
So you telling me Trump's inauguration is on the day of Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
No. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on Trump's inauguration day. I fixed it for you. If you knew how to read a book or look up something or, do a little research, you would be able to understand what day inauguration day always is on. Pretty consistent. Martin Luther King Day, not consistent.
Am I on the wrong side of TikTok? Because I ain't seen nobody talk about this.
I wish I didn't see you talk about it. The uninformed amongst us. What app are y'all going to so I can go to the opposite?
Like what? Why? How? This is not a coinky dink.
See, this is a problem. People like this have no idea about historical or anything in this country that has any value. They just want to complain. Be victims, professional victims. But Martin Luther King Day and Trump's inauguration day being on the same day is creme brulee. icing on the cake.
Right.
Let's get at him.
That's right. I love
So
that.
it's the 20th Amendment. The 20th Amendment to the Constitution specifies the term of each elected president of the United States begins at noon on January 20th of the year following the election.
Yep.
It's do these people go to school? I mean, does any of the liberals, do they just like maybe Google it? Like, hey, why is this is it? I'll even write the prompt for you. Why is the president inauguration day on the 20th of January? Oh, okay. It's the 20th Amendment. I mean, just do a little research. Why are liberals always so, like, did you think like Trump planned it? Like Trump's like, no, I'm going to have it on MLK Day. No.
These people.
Man, this is insane. I mean,
hilarity, the levity of it.
It's just the way that it works. What are you going to do, man?
So, hey, if you guys want to learn about the AMM clawback and commentary on that, well, go to onthechain.io, because when you go to onthechain.io, that is going to be one of the articles, and it's all in X. I simplified it for everybody. So it's in X. There's like 5 or 6 points to it. You got to go and read through the thread. Didn't organize it and say little thread or anything, but it's there 1 through 5. Go in there, read all about the AMM clawback, and it'll be, if you go to onthechain.io, make sure you sign up over there. Just put your name and email, and after this show, you're going to get an email with every article and video link that we've reviewed prior to the show. I think it's a great opportunity, and it's free, which is pretty cool. Chip, that
damn straight it is. It's free.
Support On the Chain. You can do that over there. Do that over here. You can just show up.
That's all we know, guys. You did an hour and a half today, so thanks for being with us.
Holy
We did
cow. We got a
1 hour
lead.
and 31 minutes, guys. We will see you guys tomorrow. Well, Jeff will see you tomorrow night. Sorry, man. I'm watching my Bills. I have to. If the game's going very badly, if you do see me, you know that the Bills are in very big trouble, and they're down by 3 touchdowns. So if there's that happen, but yeah, I just need one Super Bowl victory, man. Just please give it to me. They just need to win the next 3 games. They got to beat the Ravens. It'll probably be the Chiefs. They got to go to Kansas City and then on to the big game. Same thing with the Lions. Lions need to win 3 straight. There we have it.
Right, a short, funny segment to introduce that our next segment is clickbait time.
There we go. Here we go, guys. We'll see you guys on the next one. Chip and Jeff out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.